What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Phones and Drones. You guys can see it in-house. We have that new Nubia watch. This is kind of their second take from their first alpha that they came out with, and one of the additional bands. Now, if you missed this was actually on their Kickstarter campaign and really raised some attention to it because it has that 4-inch, it's actually technically an over a 4-inch display that's not just on the top of the device, but also spreads out to the side around the band. Now, an interesting aspect is not only is it a curved display smartwatch, but you actually do also have those interchangeable bands, which is pretty unique. So aside from that, I want to give you guys a quick hands-on and unboxing. You can see it talks about having that foldable screen, heart rate sensing, 4.01-inch HD display, sports monitoring. Yes, it is IP54 sweat and water resistant. Obviously, it does use Bluetooth. One thing you will see that's missing from this is Android Wear. So this is not an Android Wear watch. It actually uses proprietary software that Nubia or ZTE, who's actually the parent company, has come up with. There is a Chinese version of this watch as well that wasn't as well received in the Western markets just because of how much it was catered to the Chinese market. This has also been known to be somewhat of a little bulky of a watch, as you would expect, but let's go ahead and check it out. We're going to give it a fair, unbiased test, and I'll definitely be back with a review, but for now, let's go ahead and get this baby in hand and check it out. So, the watch itself is the first thing you're going to see. Go ahead and pull these off, and there it is. It's actually a pretty decent looking watch. I like that metallic look on it. Definitely feels pretty flexible. The question is going to be how comfortable is it going to be, but we'll definitely touch on that in our full review. Also in the box, we're going to go ahead and get, looks like the charger, a USB to USB-C cable. Actually, I apologize. It is a micro USB. Come on, ZTE. 2020 and you're still sending out micro USB compatible devices. That's kind of rough. That's a little crazy right there. I'm not a fan of that. So, first negative thing is right in the box alone. Let's see what else is in here. Have our reading material and the other size band. This might actually be useful to read in regards to it being a little different device if you're used to Android Wear. Probably worth the read. Usually, you know what we say, pluck it and throw it to the side, but in this case, it could be somewhat more beneficial. So let's see if there's any battery power on this or if we need to give it a charge. All right, there we go. One solo button, kind of an industrial design, like I said. You can see the rivets right there, the screws actually, I should say, on both sides of the device. You can see how thick it is. Not too crazy. It is hefty though. And you can see that display first thing when it powers on. Heart rate monitor, like we said, definitely an adjustable band. You can see that flexible display. It will not flex outward any more than here, only inward. So let's go ahead and check out this additional band as well. And you can see here is that nice black leather band over this somewhat rubby, cheaper one. Definitely this is more of a rubber, stretchy band here. So let's see how this setup will be, giving you the privacy policy. All right, well, touch display is actually pretty responsive. That's good to see. Definitely weird how it wraps around every aspect of this. That'll take some time getting used to. We'll go ahead and say we've read the policy. Please start pairing. I'm going to go ahead and download the Nubia Wear app. All right, so I actually went ahead and got it all started and paired up. And wow, this thing looks great, but there is a huge learning curve to it. Mainly just because of how everything is worded in the system settings. It's not very clear and concise what things do. Marquee switch, yeah, it's one of those things like, what does that even mean? So unless you actually go into some of these settings, you're not going to know that that means, oh, let's change what the display looks like or the background here. And you can see that's under Bearage, which makes no sense as it is to begin with. When you click it, you'll see there's a whole bunch of really cool options to really exaggerate how well this curved display looks, and it looks great. There's a lot of other options you can have, like a matrix style, and these are kind of like almost like screensavers while you're wearing this. Obviously, I'm sure there's going to be a huge hit to battery life if you keep this running, but obviously that'll come in our review and our testing to see what exactly it does. It is not as seamless as an experience for those of you that are used to an Android Wear device or even an Apple Watch. Getting everything paired and set up, once you paired it with your phone, it automatically did not trigger Wi-Fi to become active. It didn't tie right to my phone's notifications for some reason. So yeah, that's kind of where all of these options are going to come into play, and you're going to have to really just experiment with what is where. For instance, you can see show clock when time is off. That was already set off. I had to go ahead and activate that. You can see just how short screen off time is. It defaulted to 5 seconds. There's not an always on option, whereas if you're looking at it, it'll stay on. You always want to make sure you have this set up. There's no auto brightness level. You kind of have to do all that manually as well. But you know, these are all little intricacies on a second gen product. It's not going to be flawless. You're going to take time to get used to it and for this to adapt. It definitely looks like a piece of tech on your wrist. Does not look much like a smartwatch, but it is definitely an eye catcher. Whether that's good or bad, you will probably get called out for wearing something like this. Just fully transparent with you guys. So you can see right off the bat, there is no always on, like I said, even though we activated it. But when you actually put this on your wrist, you go ahead and tighten this so you can see where it'll activate now. Kind of simple and plain, but it does not stay always on, which is a little bit of a surprise. You have to have one of those, like I said, quote unquote screensavers active for that. Aside from that, in the interface, you can see there is all these health settings, sound settings. You do have vibrate, you have that Zen mode if you do not want to be bothered. You do have system checks for updates and all that. There was nothing updated. It looks like it's still stuck on version 1. You do have, obviously, like I was saying too at the beginning here, let me scroll down, your shortcut settings. You do also have swipe gestures to go through all of your other options. So you can go to your clock setting. You can see your stopwatch, countdown, alarm. Pretty typical. Search for your phone, shows your music playback. Schedule, compass. This Bearage, like we said, is where we saw that marquee switch for all of this. And again, it looks really cool. In concept and what they executed here, it is really neat. The practicality of it and how well you can actually navigate around the interface, that's really up for debate right now. Definitely not 100% sold. It's going to take some time to get used to and really see if it's worth your hard-earned money. Obviously, this was on Kickstarter when I picked it up. I'm not sure if it's fully available yet outside of that, but something to think about. I wouldn't go out and hop on this just yet. Stay tuned to the channel and we'll be doing a full review on this. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay tuned to the channel. Let me know what your thoughts are. Ugly, awesome, useful? I'm curious. Comment that down below. We'll catch you in the next one. Peace.